If we look back throughout history, riddles have played a role in almost every culture or society and their mythology. And so what I want to do in this video is take you on a tour of what I'm calling escape rooms of the ancients. And in each of these examples that I've jotted down here, I've been doing a little bit of research, drawing from different cultures. In each example, we're going to find some kind of gateway or gatekeeping or pathway, and in order to get through, you have to answer a riddle. One of the reasons that I'm bringing this up, of course, is because I believe that riddles have great value for us today, for play and for games, but also for clear thinking, for cultivating and cherishing and celebrating wisdom and nurturing it in ourselves and others. And it's in gameplay and also in our stories and the stories that we tell. We're able to point people to these kinds of riddles that challenge them to think differently, to look at things carefully and closely. So let's go ahead and dive in and go on a little tour of some escape rooms of the ancients. The first one is the 21 gates of the Duat in the Egyptian Book of the Dead. And in this one, there are 21 gates that one has to go through. Each one is guarded by a deity, and each deity poses some kind of special challenge. So here's an example. I jotted down from gate number 9. The example is a simple riddle. Who is the guardian who eats the entrails of the dead? And the required response is, he who lives on truth. So I have another video on how to create a riddle and what makes a good riddle. And there's some really powerful components of that in that simple riddle, but it cultivates a kind of wisdom of drawing upon your past knowledge, on looking at things from different angles in order to answer it. Let's go on to the second one then. The Great Challenge and the Descent of Eanna. This is in Sumer. So this goes back like 1900 BC. And there's this threshold, 7 gates of the underworld, and the goddess Eanna descends into the netherworld to confront her sister. She passes through these 7 gates, giving up one piece of her power at each. And upon her death, her rescue depends upon her servant posing a veiled riddle-like speech to the god Enki. And it goes like this: a woman hangs like a cloth on a peg. Her eyes are closed. Her mouth does not open. What shall be done? Enki recognizes the unspoken meaning and that it is actually, the answer is Eanna, and it goes on from there. So we find these really fascinating kinds of exchanges, and oftentimes when we look at the use of riddles throughout culture, throughout history, and the stories that we tell, is that it's an actual kind of duel, but instead of a duel focused upon violence, it's a duel of the minds, a duel of wit and wisdom. And that is something I think we can cultivate today. In a world today where information is overwhelming, where access to knowledge is significant, wisdom has never been more important. And it's my hope that even as we get into an age of AI, that in gameplay and in the kinds of games that we do, if we make use of tools like riddles, we can cultivate some clear thinking, some good decision making, and so forth. Let's go on to the third one, the bronze gatekeeper Talus. This is a Greek myth, and so it goes basically like this. Jason and the Argonauts approach Crete, but a massive bronze giant named Talus blocks their path, and he's hurling stones at their ship. Medea solves this unspoken mythic riddle, and that's part of this story. And the riddle is, how do you defeat a being made entirely of bronze? And the answer is, find the weakness, one vein, one nail. So in this one, you actually have the riddle and you have the answer, but the answer is a bit of a riddle as well. And so the idea is that there's a nail that plugs this single vein, and if you pull it out, he bleeds out in the kinds of the story, this molten metal, and he just kind of collapses. Well, that's a little different use of a riddle, but once more, it's pointing people to and celebrating the one who is wise. And wisdom leads to victory. It leads to defeating the monster or the giant, or discovering the treasure, or making it through the gateway. So we see different uses. And I know that I called this the escape room, but these are kinds of escape rooms if you think about it. The first one is sort of escaping through the gateways, just how you create different kind of gateways and transitions in an escape room. And the second one has a way to help someone escape from a location, and the third one is to sort of escape a dangerous situation. And that's exactly how we approach the design of escape rooms. It's that you create some kind of narrative or story, and you're trying to solve these riddles and these puzzles step by step until you find your way out. You escape, you get to a place of safety or victory or whatever else it is. The fourth one is the Orphic gold tablet riddle. This is from 4th century BC Greece. And it's the gates of the afterlife. Oftentimes we see this afterlife theme. And Orphic initiates were buried with small gold leaves inscribed with passphrases. They're ritual riddles to be spoken at specific gates in the afterlife. So you have this same theme like in the Egyptian one. And here's an example of one, a tablet text. I am a child of earth and starry heaven. My race is of heaven alone. You know who I am. These lines were spoken to gatekeepers or judges, allowing the soul to drink from the lake of memory rather than the lake of forgetfulness, so that you can continue on your journey. All right, let's go to one more. The fifth one is the riddle duel at the edge of the world. And this is a Norse one. And I don't have as much experience with Norse mythology, so I've enjoyed digging in and discovering these kinds of riddles. And so this one is quite new to me as well. And they're in the Giant's Hall, and the idea is you're trying to survive. So Odin is in disguise in this particular one. And this is a common theme that we see in a lot of mythology across cultures, where the god will come down and disguised as a human to test the wisdom or wit or character or virtue of a person or something like that. In this case, Odin's in disguise, and he visits this wise giant and challenges him to a riddle duel. And each riddle tests their understanding of stories and fate and other kinds of things like that. And if Odin loses, he dies. Now, the giant doesn't know that he's in a riddle duel with Odin in this story, though. And so the giant's first riddle is, from where came the sun that rides over men? And Odin's answer is, from the flaming south, where search shall come with fire. And there's this kind of exchange back and forth with riddles until finally Odin poses a question that really only he can answer, that reveals his identity as Odin, and he wins the duel. So the riddle contest is sort of a solve or perish, a high stakes one. But this idea of a riddle duel is still fascinating to me, and I think it's something that we've missed. So here you have it. You have 5 different examples from 5 different cultures and 5 different time periods throughout history, where we see the use of the kinds of game mechanics that actually lead to wonderfully designed escape rooms and games and other things like that today. But once more, and as I've said on this channel before, riddles are not just child's play. They are tools for cultivating clear thinking, decision-making, truth-seeking, and metaphorical and literal treasure hunting and finding. So I hope you find that useful, and I encourage you to check out some of my other current and forthcoming videos on the riddle and what we can learn from it and how we can design great ones and how we can use them in our lives.